Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Flag Dash is a game of exactly what you think it is. It's capture the flag. And when this game came out, it had a little bit of a buzz going on about it. People were commenting about it. And I always wonder when I see a little small game like that, people are buzzing about it. Is it really good? Or were there a lot of free copies kind of floating around? Because in this one, like, everybody was talking about it and then just completely disappeared from anybody's vernacular. So was it like something where, like, maybe they were pushing or doing paid previews, and then once everybody wasn't getting paid, they didn't want to talk about it anymore? I'm not saying that's what occurred. I'm just saying sometimes it goes through my head when you hear this game. It's like, blah, 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 blah. And you hear, like, absolutely nothing. And Flag Dash is one of those games. You know, it has a unique theme. That's interesting how you just, like, it's almost like you're on a playground. You're going flag, you capture the flag. It has a basic game in advance. We have individual powers, etc. There's a little bit going on here, but at the end of the day, it's capture the flag. And I think it's a game that I'd rather just go outside and play, right? Go outside and play with the kids or Boy Scout troop or just friends or whatever. But on the board gaming table is what we're given here. So that's what I have to comment on. It's a fine game. It's a programming game where you put your things out. And once it's your turn and your guy's moving, you might go left instead of right. Ha ha ha. Isn't that frustrating and funny because you messed up? And when you mess up, it's frustrating for yourself. I'm not the biggest fan of programming games. I don't think that's a secret here. It's okay, and sometimes it works better than others. This one's vanilla. You know, if you don't want to play monsters or goblins or trolls or Spectre Ops or something like this, this is going to be very generic. Human beings running around, very diverse group. You got men, women, different races, different colors, different genders. It's all in this game. It's fine. You know, if the theme captures you, you'll want to play this. If you like pre-programming and you don't want to do robots like Robot Rally, then this might interest you. It's an okay game. It's a couple different modes. It's got the pre-program. It's got the advanced and basic. It's going to go. It's a little bit, it can grow with you a little bit. I think it'll be something that'll be forgettable for you, as it is for me, so Purge for me, absolutely. Here's Flag Dash. You can see it's a very attractive cover, I guess, if you like that sort of thing. Open up, you're going to get a rule book and a variant list, which we'll look at in a few minutes. You're going to get some screens. These are really small, but they do tell you everything you need in the game, but they're almost small to the point of being useless, if you ask me. You're going to have a very small board. It is double-sided, which is nice. This side gives you a little bit more action on it, more advanced side, but you know, once again, everything is very small in this game. You're going to get these little meeple things. Everybody, different colors, will be different shapes, which is nice, and just a bunch of tokens and stuff that you'll be utilizing during the game. Those are fine. And then you're going to get your cards that will be used as your pre-programming and your characters. I found the outwork to be a little bit bland. I don't know, just generic. There are different races and genders in here, but these cards are really cheap. I mean, they're very thin. And then this is just, I mean, it's clear. The graphic design is good, but you know, it's very generic to look at through the whole game. The components, I think the components hold the game back. I think if this was like a deluxe version, I think this game would be really cooler. I think maybe they went with just like not generic hipsters, but maybe something else. But I think they may have been going for like mass market. Let's see what we can do here. I don't know. Not very good to me. Here's a rule book. Picture of the components is really, really good. You're going to have setup with a picture. You can't ask for anything more than that. Then you're going to go to the game review. This is really how the game works, and they're going to break down each faction of it a little bit differently. And you're going to have a little picture that gives you the tunnels and the boosts that you'll be doing in the game end. This is where the rule book really shines. You can go over all the action cards that you have and what they do, the priority tokens and how they're utilized, and then the characters' abilities for each of the people that you're going to have. And then if you want to do a custom layout of the board, etc. Now, I should point out there are additional rules for a 2-player and a 3-player experience if you want to do that. The rulebook is good. I'm not really a fan of rulebooks that have, you know, rules for different player counts. Maybe there should be an asterisk on. This is really a 4-player game. But the rulebook is pretty good. I actually like this rulebook quite a bit. It does a very good job. So I'm just going to give you a quick little overview of how the game works. So there'll be different setups where you have these people that will be out. And every character has a different look to it, which is kind of nice little feature to the game as it will be. So you have these people out. And there's different ones that you have in the book that you can set up and custom stuff that you can do to have a setup. Each player will also have a flag on the board. Maybe that's what you'll be capturing. And you might have these walls that will be out that just kind of shake things up. Maybe change up where you can't move through because you can't move through a wall. So maybe the space would be unattainable or something. Just to make things. They're just little wooden pieces that are painted black, and then you have your flags that are here, and people will be around. This setup is generic. I did this randomly, but you can set it up. There's custom ones, and there's ones in the book that will tell you how to set the game up. I should point out that there are characters that you can utilize in the game. You can play with powers or without, but these will be the actions that you have. You have your walls that you can put out, and then each player will have a different power that will have. It's only an icon on here, but you can definitely utilize those in the rules. Then you flip them over when you've used it. I should go over those rather quickly just to give you an idea what they do. So you have like the lasso with him. You can use that action card. He can dig a little bit. This one has the 2 cat tokens that can be used. So if you wanted to play with these are optional, but you can definitely play with the character powers as you go through if you want to shake things up a little bit. So what you're going to do on a turn is you will play 2 cards face down, and let's say you put your priority tokens on top of it. Once everybody has done this, you'll flip over to see what priority you'll move in, and you always go in the lowest number first. Then you would flip over your card if you're the lowest number, and you would take that action. So, for example, you might be able to move your person 1 to the side. You have a flag action where if you're next to a flag, you can take it. You could steal from somebody. You can hand it off to a teammate. This allows you to copy. So if this one would have been played, you can copy the other one that you played. This will give you a recycle. And most of these are just going to be movement things. They're pretty generic, just moving in different directions. That's the lasso, which is a special one. But for the most part, moving around or doing the flag that you have on the board. Then when it's your turn, you just move them on the board of where you want to go. You can move orthogonally. You cannot move diagonally. And you cannot move through somebody or land on the same space that they're in. It is important to note that at the end of the turn, you will get back to 2 cards that you used, and these will be discarded. So you won't be just able to use the one every round. You'll have to use different ones. Now, it is interesting with these priority tokens. You see this one is 1. It'll let you go first, but the 5, even though you go later in the round, it has a ×3 on it, so you'll be able to take the action 3 times. It's a little more powerful if you're willing to go later in the round. Now, like I said, you'll be discarding these each round. You only get them back when you use the 7. So at some point, you'll be required to do the 7. And then when you do that, you'll get all your priority tokens back, and you can reuse them all. Game will end in one of 2 ways. If you're able to get the flag and get it back into your territory, you will win. Or one runner collects a flag from each of the enemies or his opponents, then that team would win. So you have to do one of those 2 things. Flag Dash is a very simple programming game. And the fun of it's going to be chaos and things going wrong. Now, on the other side, there are some tunnels that you can go through and pop out. That adds a little bit of variance to it. And this one has it kind of set diagonal instead of just up and down or left and right, etc. And that's how you play the game. Who should buy this game? I mean, if you had some kids, they were just getting into the gaming, maybe a lighter gaming group and something like this would play really well. It's a very small package. It can be found fairly cheaply. It's a vanilla theme. What I mean by that, it's not going to offend anybody. Nobody will say, oh, got to work over there. It's too nerdy for me. It's just people at a park playing capture the flag. So it's going to have a wide appeal to most people. But I don't know. But the reason I say it's vanilla, because it's not only going to have a wide appeal where people say, okay, I'll try that out. I don't think it's going to be like, ooh, capture the flag dash. I don't think they're going to have that kind of reaction where, they'll jump right into it. For me, it's going to be a Purge, not something I had, a great time playing. I can find this other places in skirmish games, and just something I found myself not pulling off the table. Absolute Purge for me. No regrets.